Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking. On behalf of myself and the entire crew, I'd like to welcome you on board today's non-stop service from where you are to where you will be. Our flight time today will be approximately 40 minutes. We'll be flying at an altitude of 30,000 feet at a ground speed of approximately 450 miles per hour. We'll be experiencing a moderate tailwind today. We don't anticipate any turbulence, but please keep seatbelts fastened at all times. I'd like to welcome you on board and introduce my cabin crew today. Your Chief Steward, Miss Sophie White. In a few moments, we'll be showing our safety demonstration and would like the next few minutes of your complete attention. Flight attendants, cabin crew, doors on automatic, cross-check and report. Thank you. On behalf of everyone on board today, we'd like to thank you for paying attention. As we prepare for takeoff, please relax and enjoy the flight.
Is your seatbelt done up? Is it? Tighter, 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 nice and tight. That's right, yeah, lovely. Oh, excuse me, madam. Your scarf's very busy. Do you mind covering it slightly with your hands? It's very busy and it might interfere with the plane's complex navigational systems. Thank you very much. I would like to remind passengers on board today that no peanuts will be served on board this flight today because the pilot has an allergy. His face once blew up to the size of a small village because a man in row 65C just thought about a Snickers bar. Thank you. I'd like to remind passengers situated in the exit seats that you must be okay to open the door and deal with stuff when we crash. So you must be okay with heights, suction, clouds, and a little bit later on as we continue to drop like a stone, birds. If you are not, please let me know and we can relocate you. There are 8 emergency exits aboard this flight. That's emergency exit, all clearly marked with an exit sign. That's exit, which backwards reads tykes. Don't tell me you haven't done that. Which is not a word that means anything, but could be a really good word for something that doesn't exist yet. In the highly unlikely event the plane needs to make an emergency landing on water, water skis will be found under your seats. We might as well make lemonade some lemons, right, ladies and gentlemen? Also, your seats and less popular people can be used for flotation. Now, I'd like to run through a quick safety demonstration for you, if I may. I would like to introduce you to myself today. I'm your Chief Flight Attendant, Sophie White. People call me Snow. I know it's a leap. Make it. And I'd like to run through some of the finer points of the safety demonstration aboard this flight today, in the highly unlikely event the plane needs to make an emergency landing. So, ladies and gentlemen, let the triplets go first. But keep them in age order. Please do not attempt to open the emergency exits yourself. Please instead lead us to the dark, shadowy arms that haunt your nightmares. Quick! Open your Life-Fed flavoured crisps! When someone farts after one of our tasty in-flight dinners, their bottom scent will rise up to form an anti-gravitational musk, the fallout of which produces geometric snakes with pointed heads. Please do not follow these, no matter how tempting or ingrained. Please instead lie at the height chart placed handily at knee level and report to the captain how tall you are. He will then choose your fate. Make fire with your eye lasers. But do not do this near a washing machine on a spin cycle. Choose which oxygen mask is your favourite and pull it towards you. But only one works. Fun quizzes in high pressure environments are scientifically proven to lower stress levels, leaving you in a state we call optimum chill and more open to gliding effortlessly down the giant inflatable slide to the raft, which we've called the Medusa. Wrap a beaver around your waist, pull its tail to check it's dead. You'll be given a blonde wig to wear. Please drape it upon you like a waistcoat before applying your favourite lipstick to inflate your favourite shoulder boil. Upon emergency landing, let your glasses float and don't eat a burger. Take off one shoe and listen to what a prawn says. I'd like to thank you for your time today, ladies and gentlemen, and please enjoy your flight. Hi. So I have spent most of my adult life terrified of flying. It used to affect me really, really physically. I used to feel like I had this kind of oppressive black cloud around my shoulders. I used to really be grateful for the fact that we were all sitting down because I thought that my knees might buckle from underneath me. My heart used to beat so hard and so fast. I used to feel like it was going to come up and out of my chin. And every breath that I took felt shallower than the one before. Almost like I felt like the air surrounding me was too thick to breathe. And my hands, they used to sweat. Oh my God, they used to sweat. They really, really used to sweat. Do you mind? Thank you. My sister had to hold that hand. It was as if I thought everything the pilot said was a double bluff. So, for example, he might say, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome aboard this Ryanair flight to Bordeaux. And I would hear, good luck, ladies and gentlemen, welcome aboard this flight to Doom. I'm dead, and my co-pilot's drunk. And it was as if I could not imagine any other outcome to any flight that I took that wouldn't have me floating in a sea or an ocean somewhere, over a particularly buoyant piece of luggage, fending off stingrays with my spare arm. And what's more, I felt like I was the only person who felt like this. Everybody else seemed absolutely fine. And that's quite a lonely place to be.
Do you like me hat? Man, it smells like snuckety muswaft in here. They better be taking off soon now they've done that flight sock safety dance or whatever it is. Hey, I could murder a Cadbury's cream egg. Or should that be a Cadbury's crime egg? A different murder in every one. Hey, I hate R&B. It makes us want to punch snails. Hey, do you know what's weird? You're never going to get two people the same unless they're twins. Isn't that weird? Hey, I've got a crush on a married lady. She's really pretty with tiny eyes. No, she's really tiny with pretty eyes. I want to tell her that she chose too soon, like within her own lifespan, and she should have held out for me, but I think she might be happy. Her husband's in hedge funds. I want to ask her, are you sleeping with him or with success? And she'd be like, with him, and I'd be like, he good on you? And she'd be like wearing a nice dress. And I'd be like wearing like new brogues. And she'd be like wearing a cordie. And I'd be like wearing a suit. And she'd have like a nice bag. And I'd like have a flower about here. And would be stood in a doorway. And her hair would be all curly. And she'd say, "Is it still raining? I hadn't noticed." Hey, the movies were making our heads. There's a certain amount of resignation that takes the guilt off the crush though, when someone's already been up the aisle and done that Bible vicar dance. And I mean guilt as in golden brilliance, not guilt as in feeling bad. I tend not to feel bad because I don't kill and I only eat red meat once a week. My one superpower would be singing Journey in karaoke because I can do it. Hey, do you know what's weird? I bet there are some murderers who are really good at the guitar. Hey, I quit my job. My bossy quit the company too. I think to become a full-time dick. He put enough time into it. My friends are like, "You'll get a new job soon." But I find, much like dated drugs, most platitudes, despite their friendly origin, taste pretty bitter. Hey, I wrote a note on my phone the other day and it said, "Please buy jazz shoes." I'm pretty chintz I'm not polite to myself when I'm smashed. Hey, my cousin is so irritating on social media. She's turned every spam bot vegetarian. Hey, I went to France the other week. I went to France and I met a guy in a shop. And he was like, "A Villeneuve." And I was like, "What?" And he was like, "A Villeneuve." And I was like, "What?" And he was like, "A Villeneuve." And I was like, "What?" And he was like, "A Villeneuve." And I was like, "What?" And then he was like, "A Villeneuve." And ha. And I was like, "What?" Hey, I love the French. You doing anything nice when this plane lands? Oh, me? Probably just getting off it. It's never the ones you want. So my very first memory, if you like, of being terrified of flying, I was about 10 years old, and my family and myself were due to take a trip to the States, which was quite a whizzy, big deal. And a couple of weeks before, I remember watching a plane crash on the news and being absolutely appalled and transfixed by what I saw. I think it was a very personal nature of what I was looking at. So I remember watching footage of the wreckage of the crash site, and I saw this briefcase and it had like papers in it and they were just sort of flying out in the breeze. I remember seeing like this pair of twisted up glasses, and I saw this lone sandal. Oh my God, I can't unsee the lone sandal. And I think it was around this point that I realised that with the best intentions, not everything grown-ups do turns out okay. And as human beings, we're fallible and we're fragile. And I think about all the horror films that 10-year-olds are not allowed to watch. And then I think about the news, which is like a rolling horror film from morning to evening. But it's true. A little bit later on, this kind of this awareness manifested itself in some pretty kick-ass hypochondria. And a little bit later on again, as a teenager, a very well-hidden fear of being in the backseat of our family car when we were on the motorway. Because I could see it from a bird's eye point of view, I could see how fast we were going and how tiny we were. Almost like this speeding bullet, with us, these tiny specks within. Open and vulnerable to any impact or attack. And in the grand scheme of things, it's like hundreds of years, crushingly unmissable if we went out like smoke. And I think I felt the same about flying. If not more so, because there's no bottom.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Just to let you know, we're being held in a queue here on the runway. Very busy today, so a little delay getting out today. Absolutely nothing to worry about though, and we will be on the move shortly. Thank you very much.
Are you okay? I think that's yours.
What? In photographs, it's really hard for me not to look like a fish in a blizzard. I take awful pictures. I look like a clog. I really do. Being dumb is a lifestyle choice. You don't just stop being dumb for New Year's. You got to incorporate it into your everyday. Just like making a choice to give up something that's bad for you, like Diet Coke or liars. There's loads of dumb things in this world, like that dumb rhyme. Do you know that dumb rhyme? Do you know it? Do you know it? Do you know that dumb rhyme? Do you know it? No? No? Okay. Well, it goes like this. What's the time? 9:30. Hang your knickers on the line. When they're dry, bring them in, put them in the biscuit tin. Eat a biscuit, eat a cake, eat your knickers by mistake. Now, I think that's insane. Because, how'd you get to that point in the first place? Like, why'd you put your knickers in the biscuit tin anyway? It's like, imagine having a conversation with like really stupid friends of mine. Oh, poor me, I've got a stupid friend. It might go a little bit like this. I'll be like, what are you doing? And they'd be like, I'm eating my knickers. And I'll be like, what for? And they'll be like, well, I put them in the biscuit tin. And I ate a biscuit, and then I ate a cake, and now I'm eating these by mistake. And I'll be like, well, stop. And they'd be like, well, I'm halfway through, so I might as well finish them there. And I'd be like, well, what did you put them in there for in the first place? And they'd be like, well, they're dry, so I thought, why not? At school, I was in B group maths. And then I found out there was a C group, and I was like, yay! Until I opened the door to that classroom, and it was basically a room full of trees. I got in trouble at work the other week. I was 2 champagnes up, and I had a wedgie, so I had to go home. If I'd been more skilled, I would have been able to dislodge that wedgie at my desk. I think they call that agile working. You know that Angle perfume by Terry Burglar? My sister-in-law wears it, and oh my god, it's like being chloroformed. It's up there, my 3 worst smells behind creosote in a full working day. I'll do a little bit of makeup artistry on the side, yeah. I know. Yeah, I love it. I've got a wedding next weekend. Yeah. But I'm going to be late. I feel really, really, really bad. But I just want to lie in. But it's all right because I'm only doing the bride and she just wants some eyeliner and a wipe down with a flannel. At the end of the day, it's a game of two halves. How long's a piece of string? You only live once. Blackout blinds are the perfect way to sleep yourself to death. We once had them in our hotel in Malaga, and I went to bed at night, and I got up at night, and it was like time had never happened. Except some things were slightly different, like I could hear a bullfrog and I was hungry. I lie about my age. It's alright, my nan did too, and then she died. I mean, she actually died from lying about her age. She told the ambulance she was 30 when she was 80, and they went the scenic route. Trying to get my 5 a day. Might have a bounty in a minute. What? Nothing, honestly, nothing. Goodness me. So my friends decided to practice on me what I think they might generously describe as distraction therapy. So we took a girls' holiday to Turkey when we were all about 19, and they decided to go to Smith's and pick up a copy of Smash Hits, and to take my mind off my fear of flying, to pick a song at random and make me learn the lyrics to it. Obviously Smash Hits famed for its lyrics in here. And so I tried my hardest, I really did. So I was sat there and my friend was oh yes, so I must tell you what the song was. I don't know if any of you are familiar with what was in the charts around about 99, 2000. But the particular song that they picked out for this trip was a song by Richard Blackwood called 1, 2, 3, 4, Get With The Wicked, and it goes a bit like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, get with the wicked. Can I get a chicks get a wicked? Can I get a papa? You know. 1, 2, 3, 4, get with the wicked. Can I get a chicks get a wicked? Can I get a papa? Smash hits, definitely hit or miss. So I was sat there next to my friend, and she was chivying me along and helping me along, and I was sat there going, 1, 2, 3, 4, get with the wicked, gotta get a woo-woo, chicks getting with it. And after a while I actually got quite cross, because I thought, do you know what? My bum cheeks are clenched so hard right now, and, you know, they're the only thing keeping this plane in the sky. So if you don't mind, I have a job to do right now, and it is saving our lives with my bum cheeks. A little bit later on, I decided the best way to cure a fear of flying would be to not fly ever. So I took many non-flights after many non-flights, and one particular epic journey I took from London to Bordeaux, because I was going to visit my family who were on holiday in France in Bordeaux. So I got a train from London to Paris, I got a taxi across town, and then I got a train down to Bordeaux. And the whole thing took me the best part of a day. I think it probably cost me double. And on that very last leg, that last train journey, I was sat opposite this French lady, and I watched her consume 2 enormous family-sized bars of Milka, one after the other. And I just remember thinking, which one of us is more crazy? Hello, ladies and gentlemen. No, we haven't taken off yet. No, we're just being held in the runway, yeah, because it's very busy getting out today. Very busy indeed. So, yeah, we're being held in a queue, but there's nothing to worry about. Okay. You'll know when we've taken off because it feels different. Okay. You hang up. No, you hang up. No, you hang up. Okay, love you, bye. You alright? Yeah, good. Yeah, right. Yeah, you okay? Yeah. Hello, you. Hello. You're really tiny, aren't you? You're really little. Are you flying by yourself for the first time? Yeah, you're so cute. You're so cute. You're so tiny. How tiny are you? Are you this tiny? Or are you this tiny? Maybe you're this tiny. Do you want a drink? Yeah, I'll have a fruit shoot, thanks. Twinkle, twinkle, have you any wool? Yes sir, no sir, I got some in my jumper. When I grow up, I want to be a waiter in a pub, and I want to list desserts like this. Death by chocolate, pineapple pavlova, strawberry cheesecake, Mississippi mud pie, lemon meringue problem, and Arctic wonderful times on a wonder bucket. So, a little bit about me. My name's William. I'm 8 years old and I'm flying alone for the first time and I need a wee. But apart from that, I really like board games. And I'm designing a few to make them better. So everybody says that young people today have got heads made of bones and seawater. But I disagree. I'm clever, and my dad says I'm clever too. I'm an inventor, and I'm inventing some board games to make them better. Do you want to hear my first one? Good, okay. So my first board game's called Jalopoli. Told from the point of view of the inmates of the Monopoly jail. Like, them who come last in the booty contest and couldn't hack it to turn to a life of petty crime. The top hat's brother, who's a lifer, thanks to a hot temper and a thing for slow shanking. And all the tenants of the Old Kent Road for operating a drug square. Which is like a drugs ring, but you only got 4 people to catch. Oh, what, me? Thank you. I'm going to visit my uncle. He's my great uncle, so he's better than my regular uncle because he's great. And we're going to go fishing. And we're going to drink Fanta. And we're going to give some to the fishes. Because their mouths are like this. Perfect for straws. Oh no, I won't go to the toilet for the whole flight. I got a thing about locks. Sometimes they go one way and they never go back. Okay, bye. So my next game, do you want to hear it good? Okay. My next game's called The Piano's Been Drinking. Much like Buckaroo or Popper Pirate, this is a game of nerves not suitable for children. Players are going to take it in turn to feed the piano beer until it gets too drunk and explodes. Not for the easily shocked. This game involves no skill and a strong heart. Okay, do you want to hear my next game? Good. Okay, my next game is called No More Heroes. And it's a baseboard game. Players have got to correctly guess the song their teammate sings to them, but they only sing the bass part.
Sometimes a player might play the out of tune card, which means your base is suddenly warped and it's really upsetting and out of tune. And it means everybody's got to get up, run to the most northern point of the house they're in and run back again. And the first person to sit down and shout G-strings granted immunity on the next go. 1 in every 800 games comes with a golden pick, which grants you entry to any rock concert in the next 20 years. But much like Trivial Pursuit, this game's not often updated, so the musicians may no longer be touring or dead. My last game, do you want to hear it? It's the best one. Good. My last board game is called Don't Be Shellfish. It's a seafood board game based on sharing. So, players are paired with one another to fight obstacles and evil to get from one side of the bay to the other. It's a game of wit and skill, as players must overcome deep sea evils like sharks, angry sea cucumbers, Neptune, a decayed Titanic violinist, and more obvious predators like stingrays and ocean herpes. Much like an elaborate paper, scissors, stone, I not quite worked out the details yet, except that Neptune definitely can't get ocean herpes because he's had it so many times. Basically, you're all in it together and you've got to share and be sociable. And the players that make it to the other side of the bay first win. My friend Sam is Dutch. And he come round and give my French friend a Chinese burn in my house in Swansea. There's a lot of geography in that. Cheers. He's so tiny. So tiny. So like any good human would, I decided the best place for me to go to cure my fear of flying would be online. So I visited a couple of fear of flying forums just to kind of see what people were saying. And I thought I'd share these nuggets with you. So AA777 says, "My sister has gotten over her fear of flying by pretending she's on a magic carpet ride." Dallas Boy says, "I had to listen to the same song on repeat on my iPod the whole journey. And I couldn't take my eyes off the cartoon character on the end of the wing. And thank God, because we made it." And BB1 says, "I'm usually okay after a couple of double whiskies, but I'm still not convinced I'm not going to open the door and jump out." So I thought, great, I found my tribe. And I sympathised. Oh my God, did I sympathise? Because that was me. But that's not what I wanted to be. And then I found him, like a gleaming penny in the turd of online rabble. Captain Stacey Chance, author of an amazing fear of flying tutorial called Fear of Flying Tutorial. A really wonderfully well-written, well-articulated and humorous fear of flying tutorial. And I loved it. It explained everything, every smell, every sound, every sensation, everything you could possibly imagine, in a way that treated you like a sort of sentient, normal human being. And I read it from start to finish, and then I read it again, and then I read it again. And it became my pre-flight reading ritual until I suddenly realised I got off a flight and realised that I hadn't read it at all. And I thought, oh, awesome. And I think I realised that, as soon as you start removing fear, it gets replaced with fascination. And for me, it had nothing to do with heights, nothing to do with claustrophobia, nothing to do with a lack of control. Actually, maybe it had a bit to do with a lack of control. Sorry, have you dropped something? Yeah, thanks. My boyfriend's got a girlfriend and it's not me. Sometimes I feel like I look like a tiny spider and that's why I've been ditched and now I'm single. I once went out with a man who looked like a collection of triangles. My mum's dating an ex of mine. She said, waste not, want not. As you can probably tell, I'm finally getting away from it all. I'm scared of being judged, and I'm scared of what people might want from me. I said to my friend Sophie, do I really need to put loving kittens in my Twitter bio to get laid? And she said, yeah, so I did. And now I'm thinking of adding horses and cooking, even though I'm just really into rocks that resemble people, I try and be a good person. I help the sick on Monday. I talk to the birds on Tuesday. And the rest of the time I'm making paper chains for sad people. Most of the time, when you can't even or can't hardly, you likely probably can even or can hardly even. Because that's just life, isn't it? You suck it up. I'm on LinkedIn. I went to a party the other night and the air was thick with other people's good fortune. You know the kind of people who wipe their bottoms with your dreams? Have you ever been out with someone so handsome you felt like you were tricking them? I feel like I'm in an endless purgatory of life almost. Talking's just flat music, isn't it? I wish I could compartmentalise things like other humans do and also robots. I'm missing someone right now. I'm sure he's off doing something really nice. Like not dying. But all I really want to say is put your hand in mine and let's go and live in a lake. Live by a lake, or even in a lake. In our pants. And fight bears. Could you put your seat to an upright position? She did say so. You've got to do it. How many crashes have been caused by people with their seats not in an upright position? So many. Could you just do it? I'm so sorry, I thought it was. I really thought it was. So I think fear can really rule our lives. to the extent where we can be so far away from where we really, really want to be. We feel obliged to sort of bow to this pressure from society to be a certain way and do a certain thing, and we're scared to be different. And but I think that, you know, that as soon as you chase down your fears, life gets better. And I think a lot of the reasons why we don't decide to conquer our fears or just challenge them is that we're almost too scared about what happens afterwards. So it's like, you know, what if I do conquer my fear? What happens next? You know, what's behind that door? What's over that cliff? You know, it could be something awful, but the chances are it'll be something wonderful. If you never try, you'll never know. So for me, the moment I decided to stop being scared, this whole well of opportunity, knowledge, nerdiness lay in wait for me. And I don't just mean like the fantastic opportunities of just genuinely, physically being able to go to a place and enjoy it and travel. But also, I became a bit of an aviation geek, a bit of a nerd, and I allowed my brain to kind of follow this little journey and uncover and discover some things about the world of aviation, historical stuff, just really cool stuff. And I never in a million years would have gone down that route had I not conquered my fear. So I had a blog, and it started out life as a graphic design blog because I thought that I wanted a career change to be a graphic designer. I did not. That was just another roadblock in the way of what I really wanted to do. And so I allowed this blog to kind of morph into this totally geeky nerd fest of anything to do with aviation. I didn't care that it was only me and Spam reading it. And I just wanted to share with you some of the really cool, awesome things that I found out, just because I think they're ace. So one of the wicked things I found out is that there is only one-star international fleet of aircraft in the world. So there's a star rating, and it was put into place by Skytrax in 1999. 1 is shit, 5 is ace, you can fly in European airspace. So who does this 1 star belong to? Well, it belongs to North Korea. And the airline is called Air Koryo. So like me, you're probably thinking, well, that's a closed country. So who's flying in and who's flying out? You know, it's poor, they've got a deplorable human rights record. What? And so I found out that it's mostly politicians, the military, dignitaries, and maybe one of the 1,000 tourists that are allowed to go to North Korea every year. And their fleet is insane. It's this their fleet of aircraft are these lumbering Russian-built monsters that have more in common with sort of 70s Formica-clad caravanning than they do with slick aviation today. And in some instances on these aircraft, the aircon struggles to exist at a certain point, and it deploys a sort of fog into the cabin mid-flight, which I'm sure is not even remotely terrifying. And some of my favourite reviews for Air Koryo go something like this. All the flight attendants held the wall on takeoff. And my absolute favourite, which is both pilots came to say hello to the dignitaries with me. So there you go, Air Koryo. I found out also that I'm a huge Concorde fan. I am so sad that it doesn't exist anymore. If you're lucky enough to fly on Concorde, it would fly so high and so fast that if you were sat at the back, you could see it flex with the naked eye. And it was obviously built to accommodate this bend, this flex. If you were to touch the windows, they'd be really hot because it flew that fast. And they only ever painted them white because I guess they were going supersonic, so you don't want to conduct too much heat. In the early days of overseas aviation, sort of around about the 1930s, so this was kind of around the time people took all of their eggs out of the Zeppelin basket, because I think they thought it probably wasn't going to work out. And put it into like aviation and planes, and it just meant a lot more people were travelling for leisure. And of course this as well was pre-pressurised cabin days, so your planes flew a lot lower and they would fly through the weather, which made for very, very turbulent flights. So what do you do if you feel unwell aboard your average Armstrong Whitworth? You can just open the window and vom out, which I thought was amazing. Also, back in those days, you were weighed before you got on a plane, which I feel is an indignity only tempered by the fact that if you were flying in the 1930s, you were so stinking rich you probably didn't care, and you probably just ate cucumber and money sandwiches. The Mercury 7, so the first guys to go into orbit, and some of them to the moon, they were recruited, they were test pilots. And in NASA's very embryonic kind of days, they spent some time mooting who would be, you know, what kind of professional quarter of society would make a good astronaut. And they thought maybe engineers, and they thought maybe geologists, but they settled on test pilots, and I think probably because these guys were so fearless and so competitive and so gung-ho, that they seemed like the obvious choice. And of course, that has dictated everything up to the present day, because if you are a child now and you want to become an astronaut, you have to be a qualified fighter pilot at the very least. And I'll leave you with the fact that I don't know why I decided to look for this, but Air Koryo, North Korea's airlines, on Twitter. So I thought I'd have just try and work out what on earth they could be saying. I don't know who's officially at the helm of this Twitter account, but for show, it's one of their flight attendants, and she is sort of part 15-year-old superfan and part fembot. And her tweets range from the sycophantic to the utterly banal. One of my favourites being, so in love with Kim Jong-un. We're going to be a bit late today. And also a favourite, there was an image posted of a very sort of buff male body, for a torso from here to here, no top, very buff, and with Kim Jong-un's head photoshopped badly onto the top of it. And what I love about this, well, is that there's no irony. There's absolutely no irony. So I don't know, if you're braver than me, maybe you'll follow them. I haven't, because I don't know, something might happen. Look, do you want me to just take that picture for you? No. Oh my god, I need your approval on how cool my life is, if that's okay? I'm the perkiest narcissist you'll ever meet, but my doe eyes and aggressively equine neck will win you over, you know it. Oh my god, look at my bed hair. Oh my god, I've got the charity sweats. You know, when you give too much, it's like eating rich food. Oh my god, I just went for a 10-mile charity run, and oh my god, I just woke up like this. Oh my god, I'm not wearing any makeup. Oh my god, I'm so bored. Oh my god, I dyed my hair. Oh my god, I just saved a puppy. Oh my god, I got a new puppy, not the puppy I just saved. Oh my god, I just took a nap with my poodle, not the puppy from just now. Old news. Oh my god, do you like my new makeup? Oh my god, I'm not wearing any makeup. Oh my god, do you like my new clothes? Oh my god, I'm naked. Eek! I'm a political prisoner. Oh my god, I baked cakes. Better get a picture. Oh my God, I baked cakes again. Oh my God, my puppy, he helped me bake them too. Oh my God, I just baked my puppy. Oh my God, I just slashed my neighbour's tyres. Oh my God, I just killed a man. Oh my God, I just robbed a makeup counter. Oh my God. TBT to the time I went kayaking with Tom Jones, and Flashback Friday to winning the Grammy for Bestest Funk Band in the 80s, and TBT to Flashback Friday to the time I was TBTing, to the time I TBT'd a photograph of me and the Mona Lisa in a French cupcake shop on the 16e arrondissement. Oh my God, love me! She actually exists. So these days when I fly, I really like to nerd out on the view. I feel like as human beings we have this natural compulsion within us, and this natural kind of thing that whenever we're faced with a view or a vista that's kind of too big for our eyes, too big for us to take in, we have this urge to keep staring at it because we really need to comprehend it. Except that we never will. But we need to. And so we keep staring at it because we really need to comprehend it. Except that we never will. And so, you're kind of locked in this kind of endless reverie, this kind of endless loop. And that's me looking out the window when I fly. And I realise that, flying can get dull on times. It can be boring. But it really does grieve me when I see people sat there and not engaging at all in their environment. Back in 2012, I took a flight from Chicago to London. And it was an overnight flight, so they dimmed the lights for sleep time. Something I'm terrible at. I can't sleep on planes. I just thought, well, I'll just keep looking out the window. And I suddenly realised, after a while, that I was watching the meteor shower. And I was like, oh my God, I have the best seat on the planet, apart from astronauts. And as these meteors were kind of cascading down outside my window, so these kind of hot tears were cascading down my face in some sort of weird Pavlovian thing. And I looked over at everyone else because I wanted to see if other people had realised. And this person's asleep, and this guy's watching Disney. And I just thought, oh man, the real life fairy tale is going on outside. And I think as human beings, we have this kind of innate thing within us to kind of uncover and discover and keep consuming life. But I think we often forget to engage with it. And go way back when to the time before we could even travel anywhere, before we even had transportation, It wasn't enough, we'd look over there and we'd be like, I want to know what the view looks like from way over there, so I'm going to invent the wheel. So that happens. And then you're like, nah, that's not enough. I want to be able to fly like that bird. And then that's not enough. It's like, I want to be able to put my feet on that planet. And I think, as human beings, we have this natural compulsion for wonder. And to really kind of drink in our world. And I think back to those, the Mercury 7 who I mentioned earlier, those first guys to go into orbit. They were such a bunch of alpha males. They were competitive, they were driven, they were goal-orientated, and you might even think emotionless. But shot into orbit by themselves, the first time they looked at that view out of their window of planet Earth, even they couldn't help but gasp. So even those steely guys never gave up on wonder. And neither should we.